Namaskar everyone and welcome to day 20. "20 marvelous days so far, wouldn't you say?" Now, whilst Kundalini, Shakti, is sleeping, she's still empowering us in the lower consciousness. Just like when we are sleeping, our pranas are still keeping the body alive. And sometimes in the sleep the body makes instinctive movements. So even though Kundalini Shakti is sleeping in her greater form, she's still maintaining the whole universe. She's still maintaining your body, your pranas, your mind. She's still maintaining everything at lower levels of consciousness. Now, I say that Kundalini Shakti is in this body, right? She's the energy behind everything. She's the energy behind the mind, behind the emotion, behind the desire, the intention, the physicality, all the drive. She's behind everything. Only thing is that your consciousness of self is compromised. It has become limited. So I've been speaking to you about the ascension story, the evolutionary story. But when she became involved in wrapping these veils over her consciousness, she was in a devolutionary process, an involutionary process, where she was veiling herself in different stages. And finally veiled herself at the lower part of the body, the Muladhara chakra, and her greater self is sleeping. So that means that our mind is compromised, our emotional being is compromised, our vital being is compromised. Everything is compromised. For the sake of a play. It's not to punish you that you have come from that grand place of royalty into this primal place of lower drives in the animal creature. It is her play. She has veiled herself without losing herself. She has veiled herself, putting herself in this illusion that we are dying when we don't die, that we are moving when we don't move, that we are crying when we don't cry. So when you really begin to experience these kriyas, the cleansing actions that she brings up spontaneously in Kundalini Mahayoga, when you begin to experience that, you realize that crying is happening, but you don't cry. Another part of you is totally impersonal. It is not crying at all, but crying is happening. Walking is happening, but a part of you is completely still. Chanting is happening, but another part of you is observing everything. So she has the ability to enact this play and make it real while she's untainted by the play. And we get a sense of that same play when she unveils herself in our consciousness. So she veiled the infinite mind first. And then she created a space element to hold that infinite being that is free and all-pervasive. She has brought that into space, into a limited form. And then she came into the air element and veiled herself even more. So she veiled herself in all these 6 layers, from the mind to the space element here, and to space, and then to heart, which is emotion and air, and touch and edge. And she's making herself now a limited creature. And then she veiled herself in the navel area with the fire element, and she veiled herself down to the sacral area, the water element, and she veiled herself in matter, physical matter. And then she sleeps. That reminds me of the Christian story of the Bible. God created this world in 6 days and rested in the seventh. Chakras are 6, and then rested down below the 6th, in a 7th place. Amazing, isn't it? How these stories could have some kind of analogy. So you are a completely veiled infinite self with infinite consciousness and infinite energy, veiled. So the process is uncovering that veil, those veils, step by step. So as the veil uncovers, your mind begins to expand a little more. You begin to experience more of your powers, but when the lower areas, like I said yesterday, lower areas begin to unveil, you don't feel this infinite mind because the infinite mind is up here. You don't feel infinite heart because infinite heart is here. But you feel some power happening in your lower area. You don't know what it is, but then you begin to pray to all these mythological gods that we create because we don't have the mind yet to understand the formless state of the divine, the attributeless, formless state of the divine. So we get caught up in creating all these mythological gods, as it were, God of water and God of fire and God of the earth and goddess of the earth, and we create all these gods in our compromised mind until at some point we wake up and begin to see, but these things are creations of my mind. We begin to get the sense that the mind is so much greater. And when that Rudra Granthi here is opened up, then we really begin to understand the journey to self. Until then, we are worshippers of what is outside. Nothing wrong with that, because the divine Kundalini is manifesting in everything. She's behind the wind, she's behind everything. The water, she's behind the fire, she's behind the air, she's behind everything. The space, she's behind everything. So in honoring her, we don't make a mistake. We are still honoring her. But on a lower level, because we're not honoring her infinite self. But when we get into the meditative process, when we begin to be more introspective, then we begin to want to search for the infinite her. We want to search for her beyond the limitations of what we see outside. And then the true seeker, the advanced seeker, comes into being. So when we are down in the lower area, vibrating with her, we tend to say, this is my God. My God is the God of thunder. I don't believe in your God. Because we are operating in lower consciousness. I remember as a young boy, this kind of shaman who invoked the lower nature coming and getting my mother so caught up in these invocations, and I grew up in the kind of worship of the earth and killing creatures and Kali worship, and so it's an interesting kind of culture or tradition I grew up in of these worshipping these elements and these gods and praying and giving something and hoping for something. But I never liked it. I never resonated with it. I ran away the shaman and told my mother, no, don't get involved in this. This is not good. This is not good. I don't believe in this. And of course, I was such a strong young man. I was perhaps 13 or 14, but then I was already resonating with this kind of thinking. No. Send him away. My mother respected my advice. And so the guy had to go away. because he wanted to kill animals and he promised me all these things. My mother was an amazing being, but she grew as I grew. That's amazing, another story. How our evolution can help our parents. She grew as I grew. As I got to different places, she automatically got it. What kind of soul is this? For those of you who see a pictures, she's in Nityananda Bhav. She was never in Ganeshpuri. What kind of soul is this? Yes, so the true seeker comes in when we begin the internal worship, when we begin to search for that infinite being, when you begin to believe that we are resonating with the divine, that we are part of the divine, that we are associated with the divine. And that happens when the Rudra Granthi is opened. Until then, we are worshipping the external gods, we are refining our senses, our worship becomes a little more refined. We begin to worship God with poetry, or with art, finer cultures, music. And in the lower areas, when the consciousness opens up a little bit, we begin to worship different gods. And then we become very fundamentalist. My way is the only way. And this is a yuga where you see ignorance still prevails. The worship of money and the worship of this and the worship of that. And nothing is wrong, but it's not the highest form of worship. It's not going to take you to self-realization. It's not going to uncover your greater self. What I'm teaching you is to uncover your higher self, your highest self. So as she became involved in these different levels, by veiling herself, so too when we begin to evolve, our minds begin to evolve as well through every stage. And finally, when we reach the stage of the brow energy, the brow consciousness, we begin to feel resonance with her. We begin to want to know her so much more. And we begin to feel that we are part of her. And that grows in consciousness until we begin to feel that we are her, which we actually are. So the mind is a navigator. We need to follow the mind through every process. Well, the mind becomes blind in the lower areas. It doesn't have the degree of mind power. But like I've said before, when we begin to resonate with the higher teachings, that means it is meant for us. When you begin to listen to Vāsudeva and you begin to say, no, this strikes a chord inside of me. This resonates with me. You're ready for it. You may have to go through discipline to get there, but definitely your soul resonates with it. And you begin to become more detached from the world. No. That doesn't seem to be as nice as it was before. But what Vāsudeva is seeing seems to resonate more. I want this, I want this, I want this. And then there's a little war inside of you. But don't worry, once you resonate with Vāsudeva, you're going to win the war. That's the magic of Mahayoga. The Guru doesn't have to be physically with you, or to sit down and teach you before a chalkboard or now to the projector. No. You can connect with the Guru, no matter where you are, with the Guru's energy. And make the jumps inside. Do you know where my final jump happened? Not on this plane. It didn't happen on this plane at all. It happened on another. During my 40 days, the dream world and the waking world were the same. In the dreams, I'm conscious. In the dreams, I'm having all these experiences. Another world. In the dreams, Kundalini is manifesting. Sadhana continues. Another world. And when I came out of this state, I realized I was a different person. It happened in the other world. So your dreams are another place of sadhana. The dreams become more clear, they become purer. And the journey continues even on the inside. Don't discount your dreams. They are figments of imagination when your consciousness is still low. But when your consciousness becomes higher, dreams are, wow. I can't begin to describe to you. That's where I met my mother after she passed away. That's where I met my brother after he passed away. That's where I connected with my father's energy after the 40 days. My father passed away when I was 10. So sadhana is extremely exciting. More importantly, follow the journey of the consciousness and the mind. Don't get trapped with the images and all that. Follow the consciousness on the inside. And if you're a seeker, a true seeker, wanting to make that final step of uncovering the ignorance of the mind and uncovering the consciousness so much so that you feel the disconnection with every other chakra. You know, it is each chakra that holds the mind in limitation. So even though you're an evolved being, that doesn't mean that you have cleaned up the sacral yet. That doesn't mean you've cleaned up the root and you're fully grounded. That doesn't mean that you've cleaned the heart fully. You can be a little more evolved in the mind. You can feel the power of the brow. You can feel her resonance inside of you, but it is not yet clean. And that's where another bit of illusion happens to the best of us. We get caught in the vestiges of Maya, even though we have more evolved consciousness. So it's important when you see more, you go down to every level and clean it up. You're clinging to the earth, you're clinging to the sacral, you're clinging to the fire of activity, you're clinging to the touch, you're clinging to space and words and memories. Now, clean every level, layer by level, with the guidance of the Guru. Clean every level, clean every level. The greatest seeker will introspect at every level and detach. Detach. Do you know why? Because the mind has the navigating instruments. It has the consciousness of self, the ego, so that we can see the personas that we have created. It has the reasoning instrument, the discrimination to detach and say, this is not going to take me to enlightenment, to freedom. It has the mental instrument to create the thoughts that are necessary to detach, to rise. So you need to be able to use the instruments. And seeing, witnessing is the power that you have to witness every level. Ego, intellect, mind. Witness them as you use them. And remember the soul powers you have. Knowledge from your experiences. Will. As you evolve more, you could will love into the heart. You could will mental power and focus. You could will managing the body and keeping the primal impulses under control. You can will it. You can will it. Whether you are Hatha Yogi, managing the body and the vital area, whether you are a Bhakti Yogi, loving and trying to refine your senses, or whether you are Raj Yogi, trying to control the mind, or whether you are Gyan Yogi, trying to understand the universe. Use the powers that you have of the soul. Understand the qualities that bind. The Rajas, the Sattva, the Tamas, they all bind. Sattva can lead us to self-righteousness, another enemy of the seekers of freedom. Rajas is too much ego, overbearing ego. Tamas is ignorance, not knowing, lack of knowledge. So we need to understand the gunas, we need to understand the instruments, and we need to understand the soul powers we have, and with the support of the Guru, to uncover the consciousness, to open up the consciousness more and more. I can't do the homework for you. I wish I could. But each of us is an individual. And we need to do the homework ourselves. I can inspire you with my energy, with my presence, with the teachings, but you need to do the work. That brings us to the next step, which is the meditation. You need to do the work. But I'm with you. The journey is a marvelous journey. When I speak about this, oh my God, I'm fired up. That's why this 40 days is so beautiful for me. It fires me up. I'm speaking about myself. I'm speaking about my journey. I'm speaking about what I love most, freedom and play. I speak about what is dear to me. I speak about what I live every day in this world. I speak of the greatest sport in life. Sporting in the energy field. Let's go into the stillness. You know the protocol, the procedures. Meet me in the inner space. Be inspired by what I've said. Uncover every layer of the mind. Follow the consciousness at every level. And let's ride the waves. Of the divine in this energy play. Let's go within. Slowly come back to body awareness, to an awareness of the elements of nature around you. Energize the brain and the senses with the prana, and bring more oxygen into the body. Use the breath skillfully, with respect to the needs of the body. And now we do the Om sound, breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. When you go into the world today, continue to observe and remember the mind. The mental field is the most important field for observing, processing. But remember as well to witness the ego. Because some of us are so carried away by the ego, in our self-righteousness, in our passions. We are so carried away by the ego that we don't see the ego. We don't see our greed, our jealousy, our possessiveness, our pride. We don't see it, because if we did, we'll begin to be more humble. And we lose the entire vision that God is in the world, interacting with us through every form. Interesting, eh? We believe that God is everywhere, but we don't believe that God is in the people who challenge us. Interesting, wouldn't you say? We are very selective in how we see God in the world. And God is not in work. No, work is laborious, too hard. God is not there. God is there. Work is worship. Work is love made visible, as the poet said, Khalil Gibran. Where is it that God is not? And why can't God speak through every voice? It might be God in lower consciousness, but yet it's God. We don't see God in the beggar. No, no. Look what the karma of the beggar is. The beggar got himself or herself there. But it's more himself than herself, I think. God is everywhere. In the serpent, in the snail, in the ant, in the wasp, in the lion, in the tiger. I delight in seeing the God in everything. Namostvanantaya, amazing mantra. It touches me deeply. Namostvanantaya, I bow to the infinite God. Sahasra murtaye, manifesting in every form. Sahasra murtaye, manifesting in every form. Every form becomes a murti, the mantra says. Sahasra pada kshishiro bhave, with infinite arms and infinite eyes and infinite heads and thighs. And it is the God in every creature. Sahasra namne, every name is God. Sahasra namne purushaya shashvati. And you exist eternally. About that one that exists eternally. Sahasra koti yugadhari nama, supporting all the cosmic ages. It is the mantra I love. God is everywhere. We chant it every morning. See God in the world. See God in each other. The moment we begin to experience it, the story is different. You know, it's the weekend of the Christ, right? The Passion of the Christ. The whole story. Always dear to me. I always love looking at it. Oh my God, what a master. What a master. Came into the darkness of Kali Yuga. Knowing very well what happens in a Kali Yuga, and became the sacrifice that we never forget. He said, love God with your whole soul, your whole mind, your whole being. Love God. And he said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So I give you another commandment. Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Your neighbor is the serpent. Your neighbor is the snail. Your neighbor is the wasp. Your neighbor is the fellow human. Your neighbor is also your enemy and challenger. Who is not your neighbor? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. The whole idea of do unto others what you would do unto you or have done to you. He said, and on these two commandments hang all the laws and all the prophets, meaning that you don't need any other. When you go out into the world, see God in everything. See God in everything. There is no place where God is not. Don't only preach it. Don't only believe in it. Act upon it. Manifest it. Show it. Walk your talk. Be true to your words. And don't condemn anyone. Even if they pray to the mythological gods. It's their level. Let them grow. Don't believe that you are higher than another, the self-righteousness of the ego. observe the ego in all its forms. It's a very interesting game. That's what makes the world stage so exciting for me, karmically, because I know God is holding everything, the infinite is holding everything in its play. So I know everything is happening just as it should, but I look at the play, seeing the play of egos. And though it's a dark yuga, but it's a rising yuga, the sattva quality is going to grow. So I look at all the good souls in the world, the humanitarian souls, how they're working. And of course, I hold the world in my compassionate love. When I see the atrocities of war, it saddens my heart that we still live in the dark ages. Just like when the Christ was here. We still fight with the egos in the darkness of our minds, not understanding the God that is in everything. I pray that each one of us will be true to the teachings. Let's remember those 2 commandments of the Christ today as we go into that weekend. Let's live the teachings. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall experience God. Let's try to be pure in heart, everyone. Have a blessed day, day 20. Namaskar.